Restro ended up posting about what is actually going on with the storyline right here, okay? Because it wasn't actually just an update. Well, the thing that I worry about is they're just masking it of an update where it's like, well, people didn't really like the bugs, so we'll vault them. This is the reason for it, you know? I don't have that much faith in the storyline right now. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been better throughout Chapter 6. It's been 100% better. But it's still not to the point where I'm like, I'm sure there's a bigger, deeper meaning to this. You know what I mean, okay? So this is what Rez tried to say. The bugs might have actually retreated. Dr. Theodore Flysby claims that the Onimorphs were planning on devouring this reality, so them leaving is very strange. What do you mean, gone? They don't just simply up and leave for no reason. The Onimorphs were well on their way to devouring this reality, I assure you. Unless something further up the food chain is on its way. I should go. He mentions that something further up the food chain is on its way. The only other thing that we've seen further up the food chain from the spirit realm is the tentacle monster, so it might be returning later this season or during the season finale. I don't really look at the tentacle monster because I just they've been making such a big deal about the dark presence that I think whatever actually ends up being the dark presence from the spirit realm. Well, I know that like the tentacle monster was from the spirit realm, but I think whatever we're waiting for about the dark presence, I know a bunch of people have different theories on what exactly that's going to be. I hope that's the case, that there actually is something bigger up the food chain coming. And if that's the case, then I'm thinking about, okay, with the way they've done stuff in Chapter 1, like the Chapter 1 storyline is what we all love, right? The Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 storyline, they've done similar things where we have, okay, there's a little bit of a storyline going on this season, and at least it wasn't them just deleting it. But the problem is, I don't have a ton of faith in it anymore, and I worry that this just could be Epic Games just deleting the bugs, and we're going to move on. I also worry about this big time because apparently, according to a bunch of leakers and a bunch of people, like, you know, in the knowing with Epic Games, the finale event is going to be heavily storyline related, and we're actually going to see the Dark Presence, and that Dark Presence is not going to be a collab. Even if it's not a collab, okay, let's say all of that's real, and it's great, the Dark Presence is the coolest thing ever, even if the Dark Presence was Geno. Like, if we were completely satisfied with that entire storyline, I still worry about what's coming, and it's like, oh, Homer Simpson's just gonna come in and just, you know, he's gonna have one of those, like, chicken fight. Oh, no, that's Family Guy. You know what I mean? You get my point. Homer Simpson's gonna come in and do something where it's just, like, Homer Simpson being stupid, you know, I'm not too familiar with The Simpsons, but I get the gist of Homer Simpson and who he is. You know, he's gonna walk in, he's gonna do something goofy with a dark presence, and that's gonna be our story. That's what I don't want as a fan of Fortnite, and that's what I don't want as a fan of the Fortnite storyline. That's why I'm worried about this entire thing.